I had to go back and check. It's been just under a year, about 11 months, since we've last played Hunting Simulator 2, and I think that officially qualifies it as a Throwback Thursday game, and I had always intended to get back to the game anyway, and now just with the Throwback Thursday, it's sort of a reason to do so, but a lot has changed in the game since we last played it, and one major addition is the legendary animals, and from what I could tell in what I've seen, it's kind of just like piebald variations of maybe every species, or at least some species. And I'm really hoping we can maybe find one of those. So we're out here in Texas, and we'll kind of take a look and see what we can find. And it didn't take long. We've got, it looks like 2 different whitetail bucks out here. That one's spooked and that one is just chilling. I'm trying to remember, is it shift to hold breath? Yeah. And that's going to be a drop shot on our first buck. Now, an interesting thing has kind of occurred with the trophies. We shot a bunch of kind of nice animals back when we played this game last year, and there was basically a problem that a lot of people felt was a pretty big issue with the trophy lodge, where you couldn't actually view like the score and stuff of your animals. And they did kind of change that and make it to where I think you can see at least the age. I'm not sure exactly what all is available in the lodge, but with that update, I guess the information wasn't tracked with the previous kills, so like all the animals in our trophy lodge say, like the records for this animal have been lost, you may need to hunt this animal again. So really anything we get could potentially be a new addition, because it would be nice to see the scores and stuff of the animals that we take, but we're still going to be looking for that mature animal age to get the best ones. As we are kind of using spotting and stalking tactics and kind of letting it get away, I'm remembering that towards the end of our play back in 2020, we had kind of started to get used to calling animals a bit. By the way, that looks like a pretty decent buck. It is an adult, and I think we actually shot it right in the brain as it was run away there. But that kind of reminds me, I seem to remember saying that I wanted to do some bow hunting in this game, and it's been so long now I'd kind of have to experiment with calling again and try to get used to that whole thing. But I think that would be a lot of fun, and if we ever can find a legendary animal and start to maybe see how rare they are or how difficult it is to get close, that might be a cool kind of goal to go for, trying to get a legendary with a bow. By the way, a couple more whitetail bucks walking in, but they look kind of small again. From what I'm seeing, they're pretty much the same size, so we'll just go for the closer one. I'm actually quite pleased with the fact that we've made good shots so far, because the shooting, I do remember being a little bit finicky, and whether it's like muscle memory or whatever, we're placing our shots quite well, at least for the moment. I wanted to let our new dog Rocky actually find this buck, just so we could praise him and start to work on like increasing his drive and stuff. It's interesting to see, the labs are about the same size as at least a small whitetail buck. Now I know the weights and stuff are a little bit odd, especially on like the young ones, so he's probably going to weigh like an unrealistically low amount. I do seem to remember the models actually being like bigger or smaller based on the weight, so maybe it's just because that one was a young one. I'd like to get like a decent mature buck and compare Rocky beside that, but we'll have to see if they'll cooperate and show up. It's taken a good bit of stalking just to get to this point, but there looks to be a decent desert bighorn ram out there, and I seem to recall we had quite good luck with like good looking rams being mature. And I do want to get a mature one down, really just to definitely have something for the lodge and see like the, I guess, kind of new system with how they display the trophies in there. So we'll run down here and grab this guy and see. And then I think we're getting close to maybe heading back and going to a different map, because for those of you that haven't seen this game before, it's not just simply shoot the animal and like go up to it and claim it. You actually have to go back to the lodge to like properly claim your trophies. So this is actually only a young ram, and I should have had Rocky find that, but thought it might have been a mature and I wanted to check it out. So we'll take a look at the map. I think we have to go all the way down to here. I don't know how I brought that up, I didn't really want to do that, but we have some distance to go, so maybe we'll get some stuff along the way back. I don't even remember if we ever killed a bobcat. I remember trying. There were a couple that I would like try to get close to and ultimately just sort of failed to do so. There's also kind of a pronghorn close, but let's see. Bit of a weird angle. We hit it, but we definitely didn't make a great shot, and I don't even remember if that kills them or not. There was a thing that I recall. That was a kill shot, so we're good. But if you hit an animal more than 2 times, you get like a fine for too many rounds or something like that. So this is kind of steep, so it's just basically making us run down, but that may well be our first bobcat. And that time we actually needed Rocky's assistance. That is not the easiest place to find a bobcat, but we got ourselves an adult. I'd love to know how we made a heart shot on the follow-up, but we may actually end up throwing that in the lodge just to kind of see it, because I'm pretty certain, and especially because that is, like, for our bobcat license, 1 out of 10, I know we haven't killed 10, so it's probably, in fact, our first one, so that's kind of cool to actually get a species we hadn't taken before. So the way that this works is we basically come in here to the lodge, and then we can go into the claim animal screen, or we can also refill our ammo here, but we can go through and actually see like the age, and then we have the weight and score and stuff over here. So this is our, I guess, first whitetail buck. He's only 32 kg, and that's kind of the weird thing about them. But we're gonna sell, I think, everything but the bobcat, just to see maybe what that looks like in the trophy lodge. So that is our bobcat there. We're gonna keep that. 12 kg seems reasonable, at least for like a 4-year-old male. So let's go back to the lodge and see, and then we're gonna pick a different map to hunt on after that. It is a nice looking model, but then you get around to the front and just see the terrifying eyes this thing has. But anyway, if we go into the info, we can kind of see like the just harvest screen itself. It's cool that it gives you all the info, including like shot distance and all that stuff. So I like that that is shown, but then to compare it to one of the things we shot in the past, it just says the records went missing, and like I said, I think it's because the information just simply wasn't stored back then. By the way, I seem to recall, at the time we shot this, the antlers didn't sit properly on the elk's head, so kinda good to see that has been fixed. But I think that is a species I'd like to target, so I'm thinking, I don't remember the name of it, but I want to go to the Colorado kind of fields. That's gonna be the Pawnee Meadows, and we should look at the tags, because if we're low on anything, it would be good to at least know that, and elk might be one to watch out for. We can only kill 2, so we'll have to make sure that we get good ones, but I think we are pretty well set to head out. And I mean, that is a good one. I really can't remember, and it's going to take some time to kind of learn those things again, but there is like a big rack for the elk, and then one that looks similar but is scaled down a little bit. I'm just not too sure which that is, but we know we're roughly within 200 meters because that guy just had a little bugle there that was kind of barely audible, but if we can get into around 150, or you know what? Do we have the collar for them? I don't even know. There's an elk collar there, so we did call elk a little bit last time. They just turned our way immediately, so let's kind of just experiment with this a little bit. I think I'm seeing why I thought bow hunting would be so doable. Just about got away on us, but we definitely had a vital hit. You see like the red hit marker when we make a good shot, so he is going to go down from that. We'll save our ammo just in case, and just kind of keep an eye on where he goes, but I'm curious if that's going to be like an adult or a mature one. And in the meantime, maybe we can go after one of those sheep that's kind of walking around over there. I mean, especially if everything is going to turn and come back to us. Unfortunately, we spooked that guy. I think we managed to headshot him, but I saw like one of the other sheep came back there, and actually the small bull was there too. But before we lose him, I do want to go and claim the big bull that we shot, because I watched him go down just kind of out of sight. He was starting to like limp and then fell just beyond the hill. So I didn't want to lose track of that, because that is a thing that I've definitely had happen before. I'm guessing this is just an adult. Yeah, so also, I guess an intestine hit is a fatal hit, which does make sense, but I was under the impression that the red hit marker was almost like a vital, so good to know that's something to look out for. Maybe a follow-up would have been a good idea. Really, I think they all do, but the sheep looked pretty good when it was running away. Let's actually praise Rocky for that. And we'll see. Just another adult with a brain shot, so probably not going to send that to the lodge, but decent start out here in the meadows. Another thing that we should actually learn to use a bit is the towers, because we're calling in a coyote here. He still doesn't even know we're here, and he's probably close to, if not within bow range. So that is good to know. I'm not sure we've killed one of these either. Figured a headshot was probably the way to go, and that might be another one that we go ahead and taxidermize. And something that we have to do for sure before we are done here is actually to tax something that we've got in the lodge already, because I think they've also changed the way that Like, maybe you choose what is displayed or something like that in the lodge. But anyway, looks like our coyote is actually right here. And again, to see the size of Rocky beside a coyote is a little bit comical, but that is just a young one again, so maybe it's due to that. Still, I think we might throw that in the lodge to take a look at it, but nice to get one of those as well. It's definitely possible that I'm just kind of wishfully thinking here, but I swear that fox is like weirdly light, and it might actually have like the legendary sort of coat that I mentioned earlier. I know there are legendary fox that have like the sort of piebald coloration. It's just a matter of trying to get to a point where we can get a shot here. So it looks like, especially if he's calling, we can kind of keep track of him and maybe get a shot over here to the left. I mean, it looks different. I don't know how to tell. What I definitely don't want to do is just let it get away, so I assume if we can just get it down, maybe it'll say, or maybe just somewhere like in the trophy lodge or something, it'll be a little more obvious. I mean, to me that looks different. I don't remember ever killing one like that. Like, I don't know, it's a mature fox, so that's a good sign. Shot was a little bit back, by the way. So, is there any indication that that actually would be a legendary? I really don't know how that works. Like, I know legendary animals are in the game, but how you actually sort of find out if you've shot one, that part I don't understand. But maybe once again, it's time to go back to the lodge, and if we can do that correctly, we can add a little marker and hunt our way back. I kind of think with the sheep, like, all of them have the same horns. So there might not be any way of knowing the age just by like looking at them. You might actually have to take them down and then go and see. So, in the case of this one, that's exactly what we're going to do. To me at least that looks like the same kind of horns. That was, yeah, a young one, so I'm pretty sure they just all have the exact same. But, another kill to add, and I think that right up there is the lodge. So unless there's anything sort of over this rise, we should be able to go back and hopefully find out what the deal with that fox is. I hope if it is a legendary that there's some sort of indication for our fox though, so we can go ahead and claim. I think the only other one that I wanted to keep was the coyote, and it was a young one, and it was our second coyote kill ever, at least according to the licenses, but we're still going to go ahead and keep that. And then we had, is this the right fox? I think we only killed the one. Yeah, so we can go ahead and keep that as well. And I think we're going to sell the last bighorn. So I didn't see anything there. Let's go to the lodge. And I know we had a red fox displayed before, so I thought there was like some kind of indication. It looks like almost like a cross with a gray fox, but I don't see anything there. I had to go and look it up, and I do believe this is a legendary red fox, so pretty cool that they did like the cross with a gray fox, if that's what it's meant to be. You can kind of see like the grayer colors and just different coloration patches all over it, and the red fox are one of my favorite models in the entire game, so to get that one on our first hunt back is actually really cool, and I'm looking forward to maybe going after like moose and some of the deer species maybe next time. I'm kind of thinking we'll go to the Colorado forest just to have a little more of a challenge, and maybe we'll experiment with bow hunting in the next video a bit, and after that we might do like a full proper bow hunt. But anyway, nice to get back into Hunting Simulator 2 once again, and nice to definitely get a trophy red fox along the way. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.